I'm just gonna show you. Okay, this is how far I got. This log right here, the cat's body, that took 1 hour of stabbing the wool, and it's not even that dense. Hey y'all, welcome to the Diving Deep podcast. I'm Annie, your host, and welcome to my crafting corner. We're in a new corner again. Ugh. I think this one is going to stick though. It kind of has probably the best combination of things in my craft room. So this is the third angle that you're seeing. First one was literally just that wall there, and now the second time was just a blank wall. But this kind of gets at, I don't know, something a little bit more interesting to look at. I used to have a painting right here, and I just put it up with washi tape and it keeps falling, so there's a gaping hole, but maybe I'll fix that at some point in time. Anyways, hope you enjoy the visual background. This room's kind of always been a work in progress because I don't want my crafts to get too crazy, but here we are. What you don't see off camera is my shelf with my yarn ball winder and my umbrella swift, my fabrics, which isn't all of it, and some of the yarn that I've collected so far. I think I'm managing okay. It hasn't become a full-blown chaotic mess, and I think that's great. My mom would probably say otherwise, but yeah, one project at a time, and I think that's kind of working out to be okay. So I kind of want to just address the pace at which I am pushing through my projects. To those who don't know me, it may seem like it's a lot. Some of it is spurred on by the fact that right now crafting is very comforting to me. I mean, it's always been comforting to me, but I really enjoy making things for people, but in particular it's kind of come to my attention that maybe I should block that back. I've been working on a me-made wardrobe for the last 4 years or so, and I got pretty far, and my mentality has always been cost per wear, make it for life, because at the very least, if it's not for me forever, I can like pass it on to someone else who loves it, and it's still going to be high quality. So what I'm realizing these days is that I made those articles of clothing for me in the past, and I actually still really like it, but I ended up having to give a fair amount away because my measurements have changed after going through pregnancy, and you know, the chest and the hips are just different, so things don't fit me quite the same. Now, I did mention at one point in time that my clothes that I made carried me through my pregnancy, and that's still true, but there were some items that were more fitted that no longer serve me. So I actually gave it away to my niece this past Friday, and she seemed really happy with all the things she tried on, and that makes me happy. I was a little bit bummed initially when I was like, okay, these don't fit anymore. But at least it gets a second life, and yeah. Yay! Alright, so 2 projects on the block for accountability because I said I would work on them, and here we go. The first item is the Cumulus Tee, which I am wearing. It is finished. This podcast really has kept me accountable because it took me 3 weeks to knit the majority of it, and then the last time I left off, all I had to do was weave in the ends. and that required like getting the I-cords to be stitched in together, and that was just 4 spots: the neckline, the hem, and the 2 sleeves. But yeah, I think I needed that push because the last time I did this was for the Audrey top, and it was just 2 straps, and that took forever, so I was kind of dreading it. There's got to be something to be said about how the last 10% is always the hardest. That was definitely true for this one, but it turned out so well. I realized after the fact that I knew I needed to do the Kitchner stitch to bind off the I-cord here, and I didn't find the appropriate video the last time. It's not just a Kitchner stitch, I mean, like, it is, but what I found more helpful was this one video that said grafting with a Kitchner stitch, which is the difference of a Kitchner stitch having 2 sides with live stitches, so you'll have loops on 2 needles and then you'll weave in the yarn there to finish it off. But what I was looking for was one solid edge, no live stitches, and then one with you know, what's left from the I-cord, and so connecting live stitches to not live stitches. So the word is grafting. Grafting will get you very far. And oh man, it's kind of a bummer because I put it off for so long, and then when I actually was on the right track, it didn't take me that long. And I could have been wearing this t-shirt for the last 2 weeks rather than scrambling the day before to finish this t-shirt off and block it. So this is like freshly blocked, and it's beautiful. I love the fabric. So this is the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and it is so comfortable and drapey and very airy. I have no regrets with the length, which goes past my hip bones a little bit. Yeah, no issues as long as I wear high-waisted jeans, which I do, high-waisted jeans and shorts. And I also really like the length for this because it is a casual top that is meant for everyday wear. And yeah, I don't know, I didn't really need the longer that's not 3/4, the longer sleeve, which is very elegant and I like it, and I'll probably do it with my next Cumulus Tee. I might do an O-neck, but yeah, for the purposes of today's shirt, this is wonderful. Okay, I think that's all I had to say about the shirt. Ooh, a funny little anecdote is that I went to the yarn store, and I'll get to the why later, but I was talking with the store owner, and she was the one who helped me with picking the right needles for this project actually. And I was like, oh my gosh, look, I like finished it. But she complimented me on my shirt, and I was wearing it backwards. So I received the compliment. I proceeded to look down because I was very happy, and then I realized that the pearl side of the stockinette was on the outside, and I was slightly mortified because I don't know how that happened. But then when I went home and I checked the mirror, it actually looks really good. So, you know, I guess the message here is that this shirt can be worn inside out. Actually, if you like the reverse, I would just weave in the ends on this side instead. Yeah, I'm gonna reevaluate, but this is the stocking knit side. So much for right side, wrong side, right? I mean, there's a side 1 and side 2, like, in my opinion. So yeah, very comfy. So that was project number 1 for accountability, and then the second project is my baby mobile project. So my friends are about to have a baby. They are very much on the precipice of getting to meet their baby outside the womb, which is why this is an accountability project also. I don't think I'll quite finish it before the baby comes, but when I last checked in, she's still not here yet. So we're good on that front. But their nursery theme is bees. Like, I think it's like a whole bee suite type of thing, or I don't know. I think they just like bees. So I'm making a bee mobile, and so I've been working on making the little bees. I already purchased a hoop where these little bees will be hanging from, and it'll probably be like one of those spirally staircase type things. I haven't quite planned it out, but I just wanted to make a couple of pieces and then kind of figure out placement later. My initial thought was that I was going to be felting it, like with a little needle. And I've never done that before, so I was graciously gifted my cousin's old felting materials because she tried to get into it, and then she found out that it's kind of dangerous for her because sometimes she gets distracted and then will like stab her finger. So anyways, I was gifted this little kit to make this cat. This cat's pretty cute, right? I have so much respect for people who do needle felting because it takes a really long time. I'm just gonna show you. Okay, this is how far I got. This log right here, the cat's body, that took 1 hour of stabbing the wool, and it's not even that dense. And then the head is actually more dense. I don't know if you can you tell? Like, look how squishy this is. It's not very dense. I was just trying to learn how to make shapes, but the head is way more dense, and then there's kind of like the part for their snout. The head and snout took another hour. So I was just like, okay, I want at least 5 bees, and that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna spend 10 hours making bees. That seems like way too much of a time commitment, especially with just how things are right now. I don't have that kind of time, so this is cute, but it's not working for me. So I pivoted, and I found a free pattern on Ravelry, but then I found another free pattern on Google, so I went with that. I'm sure they're about the same. I think it was, let's see, Ravelry. I've got a couple of favorite bundles. The bumblebee. There's a tiny bumblebee, and then there is a big bumblebee. I've only just been making a smallish bumblebee. And the one from Ravelry is called Hooked by Robin. Yeah, I didn't use this one, but that's kind of like what was the inspiration behind being able to do this in the first place. And so this is a crochet project, and this is my prototype. There's a lot wrong with this. First off, I didn't have eyes to put on the bee, and I haven't crocheted in many years. You'll notice that the stitches aren't very tight in some spots. Like, you can see a hole like right there. I mean, it's very apparent here, but it looked better before I gave this one to my baby. So he actually loves this bee very much, and he'll probably end up, like, I'll let him play with it after I fix it up a little bit more, but he had a blast with it, and he tore off the antenna. So this was prototype number 1, and I thought maybe I would have to buy some of those toy eyes, and then I was just like, but what if I use some of my embroidery skills to make the face? So prototype number 1 turned into prototype number 2. Look at the difference there. Like, the stitches here are so much tighter. I actually found a video on how to make the stitches tighter, and you'll notice that the back, the bee's behind, is much pointier. I mean, it's not super pointy, but it's like a little bit more tapered. I really like that. So yeah, it's going well. I have made 4 so far, with a 5th one on its way. I've been doing a bulk assembly line process so that it can go a little bit faster. But yeah, the key here for tighter stitches, I found out, is having the yarn be under when you pull it through the stitch for the single crochet. And then I did a invisible decrease, but I kind of think I did it wrong, and it has worked in my benefit because I think the hidden decrease is still supposed to make a rounded, more ball-shaped bee, but I like this. So I'm probably gonna make a video on how I make my bee mobile in case anyone cares to make something similar, but this has unlocked a lot of things for me. I think I might make some little crochet fruits and veggies for my baby so he can play with it. Yay! I can't even emphasize like how much he loves this little bee. He like will take it and squish it and hug it, and it's so cute. It's so cute. Anyways, so here's the bee family. This is the only like finished one, I guess, and I have a little lineup. Like, I'm probably gonna start the lineup with this dude here. He looks like he's got things figured out. Again, no wings yet, but he's got things figured out. And then followed by this bee here and here. They're gonna be like right behind him, just like happily following. And then probably this little guy here who's just like, what's going on? I'm at the back, and I'll probably make another one of these. So I'll have 5. Here is the last one that's kind of in progress. My prototype number 1 is going to be for my baby, so that one's not going on the mobile. But yeah, I've been doing this thing where I'll get to this point here with the black, and then I'll do their embroidery. And yeah, the embroidery ice has worked out well for me. It's just like a little knot. It's just a little knot that I put on there, and yeah, I really like it. And I guess last thing to share here is that I don't think I'm using a traditional amaguri, hopefully I'm saying that right, yarn. I'm just using 100% cotton, which seemed like sturdy enough, and I bought the big twist. It was on sale at Joann's, so I got a light blue one for the wings, yellow for the bee, plus the black. And then the last one that I purchased this is from a different brand. It's just because I really like the color, Sugar and Cream. Again, 100% cotton. And I'm hoping I can make some flowers. Haven't figured that out yet. That will kind of be spread out in between. I think it'll be really cute. But yeah, I guess you'll just have to stick around to see how that goes. But yeah, so far so good. I'm pretty sure I'll finish this within the week. Hopefully have a little tutorial next week. That is the goal. That's my accountability project for next time. So yeah, okay, anyways, so those were the 2 accountability projects. My work in progress, I started my no frills sweater, casted that on, and I am actually pretty far. I don't really like having things sit around when I say I'm gonna do it for friends. It's very different when it's my own project. I like take my time a little bit more in that way, but when it comes to making things for other people, I'm like a speed demon. Anyways, so I'm like pretty much done with the body. It's already been like dry fitted on her, and she loves it so far. Like, okay, this was actually very motivating for me. Like, I ended up using a ton of stitch markers to keep track of the 30 increases for this size extra small. So this is the back, and then this is the front. But honestly, this has been like a really easy knit in my opinion. I think part of it is just like going from a silk project to a DK weight yarn. it's like it's like night and day. This is like 4 times thicker, the yarn thickness of ply, or it feels like it. I don't know if I got it right, but yeah, I had her try it on the previous Friday. Like, I literally did everything up until the underarm portion when I saw her for one Friday, and then like literally yesterday I got her to try it on again to see how far I needed to go for the body, and so she was okay with another 2 to 3 inches for the body length, and I stopped at like the perfect spot because the next portion is actually the ribbing on the bottom. And so this is an oversized fit. It's supposed to kind of lay a little bit more like this. So it's a little bit more proportional once it's on the body, but I'm gonna finish the ribbing probably this weekend and then move on to the sleeves. We are on a path to finishing this pretty fast. So the plan is from here to finish the ribbing, then the sleeves, make sure it fits, and then I'll block it. And then after that, I'll basically figure out how big of a motif should be placed on the top corner. And then I'm gonna do some embroidery work. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That should be pretty fun. Yeah, so this is I don't know if I already said it, this is the No Frills Sweater by Petite Knit. And I was already eyeing this pattern, so I'm probably gonna make one for myself later. But yeah, I'm not using a recommended yarn because I didn't want to hold 2 yarns together. The recommended one I think was the Sunday yarn with like a mohair, or yeah, I don't know. It just seemed too warm. Like, this is probably warm too, but it's significantly cheaper going the route that I went. I spent $50 some because I got 20% off winning. And yeah, I honestly don't think that's a bad price for like 100% wool sweater. This is from Juniper Moon, the Patagonia Organic Merino. And I'm knitting it on a 3.5 millimeter set. I think it would have gone faster if I used metal needles, but I'm like slowly transitioning from my Knitter's Pride wooden set to a Chiaogu set. But I'm not going to make the same mistake in buying like a full set thinking this is it. I'm just going to slowly add on. An interesting thing that I found out is that I really enjoy using the metal needles, and that I really enjoy using like DK weight and or smaller yarn. So like fingering and lace are not out of the question. So anyways, that's all to say that I'm probably going to build a needle set for the smaller sets of needles. I think it's like 5 millimeter and below. They have like 1 cable for all of that, but I'm just gonna purchase it as I go. So I'll only need to buy a couple cables, and then the needles will be interchangeable with those different lengths of cable. So yeah, that's the plan. So No Frills Sweater, and honestly, like, it's pretty much the same length as my crop. Or I don't know if this is really a crop. You can, like, I get dangerously close to showing my belly button when I raise my arm, but you don't see it, so yeah. There's gonna be another 2 to 3 inches on this. So that is my No Frills sweater. And then another work in progress I literally started as I was starting this video, or starting to record this video, and it is my cardigan number 8. I've been dying to start this project, but I've run into a couple of hiccups, and man, it's already been a journey, and I haven't even really started yet. I picked up the Ujiwa Noro yarn in the color Chihiru. And this is getting discontinued. So I picked up 2 of these and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I have to buy it before someone else does. So just very, very beautiful yarn, and it has a bunch of different colors spun in. You'll notice that the thickness changes, like you can kind of see here that that's thicker and that's thinner. And I've been trying to get gauge with this one, and it's been really tricky. There really is a lot of fine-tuning when you deviate from the recommended yarn. So I'm deviating because, first off, I was inspired by Kalina Makes and her sweater, and she used a Noro yarn as well, but hers has wool and silk, and I held with 2 strands of mohair, and I live in Austin. It's hot. I want to wear this more often than not. Again, cost per wear. So I decided to go with this particular yarn because it's about 50% cotton, 30% viscose, and then like 20% silk, I believe. I have it right here. Here's the other full ball. 20% silk, yeah. So anyways, that should be very breathable for the summer or like more dry, hot climates. And initially I was trying to kind of copy what was going on with her project, where she held it with 2 strands of mohair, and the first try was with the color Ballerina, and so here it is. It wasn't quite the color that I was looking for, and I didn't meet gauge with just holding 1, so this is with 1. When I did it with 2, it looked more white, and again, that's not what I was going for, so I returned Ballerina, and then I went back and I grabbed the flamingo color. So this is what I mentioned last time, and that looks beautiful. I knitted up the swatch and it looked really nice, but then I realized I really didn't like how it felt. It was just too warm. Like, first off, it felt kind of thin, but then it also felt very warm, and I was just like, this is like the worst of both worlds rather than the best. And so I wanted to use maybe at least 1 strand plus another like lace weight, and yeah, I don't know, that just didn't work out. So I'm probably gonna return this Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair because I just don't think it's really appropriate for me living in Austin to use it. And I'm starting to question my choice for the Esther sweater, which I've made no progress on. I'm not even really going to talk about that, but it was probably going to be a really warm sweater. And yeah, hindsight 2020. Anyway, so I found a substitute yarn that is the right amount of plies. I think this one is fingering weight, and so this is also a discontinued yarn. I don't understand why people discontinue things in the yarn world. I guess it drives people to get more excited for new releases and whatever, but I don't like how I feel when I know that something's not going to be there and there might not be enough. Anyways, I respect the artistry. People want to do something different. I get it. But I need to have enough for my project. So this is why I refuse to like go overboard with buying yarn, because what if I need more later? That's more stressful to me, like trying to figure it out later. So one at a time. But I bought Trailhead yarns. This one's called Fundy Tides. It's 55% cotton, 45% linen. It's a lace weight. And thankfully, Gauge Yarn, which is where I purchased this, had 3 left. When I calculated the yardage, I only needed 2 and a little bit, but the discontinued part got me. So I bought 3. I just don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with having to figure out what to do with my extra ones, like having way too much. Like a little bit is fine, but yeah. Isn't it beautiful? This is also in the color Flamingo, and it also has that thick and thin quality. So last night I spent some time swatching and it looks really nice. So we are here. We are here. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Like, look at that. And then I also had this thought yesterday because the pearl side of this shirt looked nice. What if I flipped it so it's backwards? Because this is honestly like really pretty also. I mean, I could just do like a garter stitch maybe. No, I'm not going to do garter stitch. That would change everything. But yeah, this is beautiful. Beautiful. I am so stoked, which is why I started casting on. I'm probably going to work on this one slowly. But I did notice that with this yarn, it kind of has like a tilt. I haven't washed it yet, but there is a slight tilt to the right, or is this right? In this direction. It's my left, your right. Yeah, but it's really, really pretty. I'm gonna block it and go from there. I kind of feel like this will be fine regardless because there's like 13.5 inches of ease on the sides. Cardigan number 8 has an oversized fit and a positive ease of approximately 35 centimeters, which is 13.75 inches. So there's a lot of wiggle room from side to side. And what I was finding was like naturally, like how it sits here, I'm off by 1 stitch for the length. And then I'm also off by 1 row, but if I stretch it in a certain way, it meets gauge. I don't know, I think it's okay. And there's just like a lot of variation because both yarns are thick and thin. So I don't know, I think this is really cool. I have just the colors. The colors are just beautiful. Like, I'm so stoked. This is gonna be like a all year round kind of cardigan, and maybe I'll make like one other cardigan for the winter. We'll see. But yeah, again, I'm on that pink kick. I'm on that pink kick, and I love this. Yeah. So that is the number 8 cardigan. What else? I also mentioned that I was working on the Olya shirt. I think this is just going to be like a multi-podcast kind of project. Because the only thing I did on it is the collar, but here we are. The collar looks great. I have a little tag in here, which I think is really cute. So, I don't know, maybe next time I'll have like the cuffs done, maybe even the hem. And I assume it'll take like one extra sewing circle session to get the buttons on. Yeah, it looks pretty dang good in my opinion. I have more of this fabric, and I'm thinking about making the Jenna shirt because the constructions are so different, and I kind of feel like maybe I'll like the other construction more. I sized down a little bit because my mom said that the initial sizing that I picked was too oversized, but I kind of feel like this might be a little small. Maybe I'll have to give this one to my niece also. We'll see. Such is life. So, yeah. All right. That's my last work in progress that I am actively working on. I have a couple of plans that I would like to execute. I'm not really sure how this will fit in with my current my current projects. Obviously the bee mobile has to be finished. This no frills sweater, that's more just perpetuated by like my desire to get it done, but that one, there's no rush on that one. So I've got two things that I am going to make. They're both a little bit more time sensitive, so they might take precedence over the no frills sweater. And so the first one is making a wedding dress for a wedding in October. This was the purple fabric that I was talking about last time. It's lavender. It's a lavender color, or maybe lilac. I think this is lilac. There's a lot of purple happening right here. But it's a lightweight linen, and I bought this a long time ago from Blackbird Fabrics, and I think it was like during one of the sales, and I was just like, this would be so nice to add into my wardrobe, like just color-wise, like a splash of color. And yeah, I've got other fabrics as well. I've got like a bright butter yellow and a grass green, but those two don't seem very wedding appropriate. And then I have a gauzy black fabric, which I also don't feel is very wedding appropriate. Anyways, I think it's kind of a stretch to be using linen for a wedding guest dress, but I want something that is versatile. That's kind of how I'm approaching a lot of my wardrobe, trying to make things work for multiple categories rather than for just like one-off occasions. And I think the pattern I'm gonna go with is the Pauline dress. It's by Core Patterns. I really like their patterns. I've done, I think, 2 of their patterns. The only one that I can recall right now is the NYX dress, which is beautiful, and I think that'll be my backup dress. But yeah, I think that'll be a really good dress to go with for a wedding guest. I'll insert a photo here. So the Pauline dress has a couple of different options in how you can style or choose your own journey. One is one with like the thicker straps and like it has a square neckline, and then it's got a couple of gathers underneath the bust and more of like a flare out for the dress portion, and so you can like modify the length that way, or you can have like long puff sleeves and also add in like a gathered skirt below like the first panel. So I think that's really cool. And then I really like the back detail because it has kind of like a keyhole-esque opening. It's kind of like a rounded corner, or a rounded triangle if anything, with a little tie at the back. So I think I can get away with this being more evening wear appropriate because of the style of the dress, not necessarily because of the fabric. So, I mean, if this doesn't work out, I have the other dress as an option, which I've actually worn a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. I use it for date night a lot, and I think I might have worn it to a wedding. But yeah. If this doesn't work out, I might go get some breathable drapey fabric like viscose, or I can't think of the other stuff right now. Tencel, or a chambray, or a cotton lawn, like a tana lawn. Like, that's really nice fabric. I don't think I'd go as far as get silk. That just seems like too much. I've never sewed silk before, and that seems very difficult. I'm not there yet. So yeah, Pauline dress for October, and then we are going to go visit a friend in Seattle sometime in September, and I'm realizing that I need some kind of option for breastfeeding, like a nursing cover, but I want to make it again versatile so that I can use it not just for that, like something that's nice. I feel like the things I've seen on the internet haven't been I don't know, it hasn't like checked off all of my boxes for what I want. So if you have any suggestions, I am open to them. Otherwise, I'm still kind of on the lookout. And who knows, maybe I'll even like use the leftover yarn from this. It's like very breathable to make the shawl. My requirements are something that is easy, something that is breathable, which this already accomplishes one, something that maybe is a little bit lacy so baby can see while he is nursing so he doesn't get fussy. I would be open to a pattern, but I don't really need anything fancy. So yeah, I've just been looking at like ponchos and shawls, and if it's lightweight enough, it'll look like a scarf, which I am very into the idea of. And yeah, I don't know. I think I just need to work on my wardrobe. I haven't really purchased anything in 4 years except for activewear, so I'm on a big refresh. A big refresh. I've been wearing too many college t-shirts and we're done with that. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. You can follow me on my Instagram, which is Diving Deep, and the same for Ravelry. Diving Deep is also my handle there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye. Got close. That's a close call. Okay.